on, y'all? This is Lecrae, and I'm challenging you to take the One and Done Challenge. Shoot a video of you in the One and Done Gear, and then brag on somebody who really understands that we got one life, and we need to make the most of it.
So the number one question I ask is, who are you? What have you got going on? How are you making your one life count? So the answer to that question for me is I'm D. Tucker, from Tulsa, Oklahoma. What I've got going on is I've got obviously the clothing line, which actually isn't really a clothing line. I mean, it is, but mainly it's a platform that I just want to use to encourage and support people who are pushing past, because life is hard. Life, I mean, if you're not crazy intentional about the way you handle every day of your life, it's insane how quickly it can get away from you, and how many things can end up on your plate that you didn't plan for. You know, sometimes it's out of your control. Sometimes things just end up on your plate. Responsibilities just end up, you know, coming to you that you didn't plan for, and that's a real thing too. So I just feel like we were all born with a purpose, and we were all born with gifts and talents. And I just want to honor those who are pushing through life and shooting for something more. You know what I mean? No shade on anybody who's just kind of like at their wits' end with what they have. That's real. I mean, if that's a season that you're in, you got to take care of yourself, because if there's no you, there's no venture. You know what I mean? So I would never suggest or create any kind of a sense that you need to, push past, like push through your own mental stability in order to build something. No, not that. But it's just, we're all aware of of how life can be. Adults, we get it. Even a lot of teens and kids, y'all already get it, some of y'all. But yeah, I just want to highlight, celebrate people who are pushing for something else, who have whatever that is to just push for something more. And I just want to celebrate them. And that's what One and Done is about. One life, make it count. And sometimes making it count doesn't even involve pushing for some business or something. Sometimes making it count is like, whatever you're doing. Sometimes making it count is choosing to get up every day and do what you should do that you don't feel like doing. Like, you really just like, I don't know. I mean, I can't tell you what it is, but the point is we have to, we can't just let it come to us. We have to make it count, this life that we have. And so, what I'm doing is just not only putting out this clothing line that I hope inspires people. I hope they love the gear. I hope they wear it proudly, but also this podcast. I've had a lot of people tell me I should do one, and I balked on it for a long time, for many different reasons that I'm not going to get into. But it's here now. I'm hoping this encourages and inspires people. Not only that you can do whatever you choose to do, but also I hope you get something out of it. I hope it's valuable to you in some way too. So there's that, but then there's also there's a lot of songs that I release. I don't always I can't. What you have to understand about me is I'm a poet first. I was writing poetry, and again, someone kind of suggested to me, you should start putting that to music. You know, it could reach a lot more people. And it was a struggle trying to do that. I mean, I took their advice. I was like, okay, I'll try. Because I had that deep poetry that didn't rhyme, you know. So it was difficult to, first stuff I wrote was so cheesy. I would never, ever torture you with that. But, so I started creating that. And, that eventually transitioned into really just getting a feel for who I am as a writer when it comes to writing music and writing and putting my stuff into that format. That was important to me, to be able to get a grasp on that, you know. And it took a while, but I finally did. So now I'm at the point where I could, my inspiration hasn't changed. I still dig from the same well, which means that it doesn't just come to me like it does for other musicians out there, because I'm not the same style of musician, and that's okay. What we have to understand about when we start to pursue things, so many other people did with this podcast, for instance. One of the reasons I wasn't going to pursue one is because there's just so many out there, you know. But whatever you pursue, do it your way. You don't have to do it like everybody else does it. You know, you put your own spin on it. Do it your own way. There's a flavor that you bring to it. Even if it's just the content that you bring, nobody else is gonna bring it like you. As long as you're not trying to be like someone else, because then you're just duplicating what's already out there, and there really is no point. But if you're bringing yourself into it, then that's always going to be unique. And so, yeah, that was with music. It's I do it in my. I had to realize that if I'm going to do this, I have a lot to say, but it's not going to be like everybody else. So you'll find most of my tracks online, like it'll be just one verse. I won't even worry about. Sometimes there's no hook. I just grab a track that I can really kind of, that I can feel online. I just buy it and or lease it like they do. Search on YouTube for the kind of just hip hop tracks, and just start listening to some. Find one that inspires me. Maybe I'll go to that person's website and just start listening to some different ones, and just find a track that I like, and I'll just flow on that and just throw it up on YouTube. I mean, and there's a reason I have to do that, because I know how I am. I'm an overthinker, and it's not to half step or just to not do things with excellence. But for me, it's more important that it gets done than it gets done a certain way or to a certain level, at least right now in this season for me, because I'm trying to break a lot of mental barriers. So for me, the objective is king. So it's like, for me, the objective right now is just to get things done. So and when I get the momentum that I need, then I can start spending more time really perfecting it and stuff like that. So but yeah, those are the things that I'm really doing, and I'm working at a place that I feel like has a strong vision, and I'm enjoying partnering with other people, helping them to reach their visions and do what they're supposed to be doing. That's really what I feel like my function is here on earth. I feel like my function is to help other people do what they need to be doing, you know. And so yeah, that's what I got going on. So the next question would be, so when you feel like giving up, when you hit that wall, how do you push through that wall? What keeps you going when you feel like giving up? Okay, so my answer to that question is just the time. Honestly, right now, my answer is different than it would have been several years ago, because I feel like I've wasted so much time just frozen in fear and just letting my thoughts just get the best of me, just feeling so just paralyzed by the what ifs and the all that stuff. So when I hit a wall right now, what keeps me going is the understanding of how much time I wasted. And it's like, I don't have, it's like, who wants to waste that much time, And here I am just getting older and older. Like, I was like, I don't have time for this. I just don't have time for this. I don't have time to sit around and either wait for things to be better or just not do anything at all, just because, I don't know what is around the corner. And, I just don't have time for that, And I believe in my soul that I have a purpose. I believe in my soul that my children have a purpose, that my wife has a purpose, that the people I see when I walk out my door, like, we all have a purpose. And nobody is fulfilling their purpose by sitting around wondering and wishing and thinking and just doing nothing. If time is, you're just losing time. There's never going to be a perfect time. There's never going to be a perfect idea. Everything's already been done. So it's like, there's just all the extraness. Like, I just don't have time for it. And really, time is of the essence. And that's another kind of what one and done is. It's just like, we just don't have this. We're not invincible, and we don't have just an unlimited amount of time. We got to get up and decide what we're going to do, how we're going to spend our days and stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, that's what when I hit the wall, that's what keeps me going. Just realizing, look, I feel this way, but here's the thing though. I give myself time. I give myself a minute to acknowledge the thought. I don't ignore what my head is saying. I don't just ignore it. I give myself a chance to feel. I mean, I let myself feel the feelings of, like, the weight. I don't want to run from it. I want to face it, So when that feeling starts coming, I don't go, no, and just run and start trying to do stuff. I let it, I see that, I feel it coming, and I just close my eyes, and I have to sit there sometimes for a second and choose to go, no, I'm not gonna let this get the best of me right now, because I got to do what I'm here to do. I have to do what I'm here to do. There's no other option for me right now than to be successful at doing what it is that God created me to do. And sometimes small steps are the best. Especially if you have fear issues. Don't try to be a hero and go out there and conquer the world. Small steps are the best. You just do what you can. What's right in front of you, take care of that. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. So the last thing that I'll ask people is to, this is the kind of the coup de grace, what I call the one and done challenge, which is to think of one person that you admire who made their life count. Someone that you just, when you think about this person, you think, I really admire that person, and it could be somebody that inspires you to do what you're doing, or it could just be somebody just in history. My brother-in-law was like, Martin Luther King, that's somebody he just admires, who just inspires him. My sister she said her husband, you know what I mean? It could be anybody. I can't tell you who inspires you. You have to, you have to know that. But for me, the person I would have to choose would be my dad. It would be my dad. and for a number of reasons, because I feel like, number one, I watched him his entire life just doing with what he had in his hand. I watched him his entire life using what was in his hands to create change, to create an impact with the people around him, to he never stopped creating with his hands. You know, he didn't complain about what he didn't have. He didn't complain about what he didn't have access to. You know, if I had, you know, a better this, or if I had he was a musician, and he dug in, he learned, he studied, he prayed. He was a person that used his life to prepare and to act. It's like every moment almost that I saw him, he was either preparing, acting, or recuperating from everything. He'd come home and he'd just be in the bed for days sometimes, and then get up and take us to the toy store or to the park to run around or something like that. But I mean, he worked hard. And used what was in his hands to the best of his ability. And I can't admire him enough for, and that's really where I get it, because I feel like I get that resourcefulness from just being around. You hear people say some stuff isn't taught, it's caught. That's one of those things that he never sat down and told me, well, son, you got to be resourceful. You know, he never said that. He told us all the time to watch our attitudes and be careful about, you know, having the wrong attitude, you know, which was very important. But at the end of the day, it was just something that I saw him do, and I will forever appreciate how that shaped me and made a way for me to be able to, you know, find my own path, forge my own path without needing things to come to me, you know. Even though God did bring things to me, God did meet me where I was at. But all in all, that resourcefulness has saved me so many times from being stuck, you know. And you can't say enough for someone who's able to just use what's in their hands and create something, make something, you know. So, yeah, that's who it would be, Doyle Tucker.
Okay. What up, y'all? All my talkers that turned into walkers. No matter what the opinions, haters and millions descending, we gotta make it count, make it count, make it count. Might not rock with conventions or what's been popular trending, but we gon' make it count, make it count, make it count. No matter what the opinions, haters and millions descending, we gotta make it count, make it count, make it count. Might not rock with conventions or what's been popular trending, but we gon' make it count, make it count, make it count.